Wither Horde is let's go to the tower here. Let's hang out at the tower. Wither Horde is an absolute must. Fatebringer, Blackhammer, Gallahorn, in my opinion, the only thing that was better than Fatebringer, Blackhammer, Gallahorn was Mountaintop Recluse Anarchy. But Fatebringer, Blackhammer, Gallahorn is the best D1 loadout, yeah. Wither Horde is great. Alright, so this is going to include exotics and legendaries. The idea here is, all right, we're not talking about classes, so you know, I'm not a class main. I play whatever. So class is irrelevant. And anybody in the YouTube comments that mention 110 resilience, you piss off, mate, because they disabled my chess piece and I don't feel like readjusting the mods. So the idea here is if you could pick a full loadout, meaning a weapon loadout, fill up every single reserve slot and your equipped items, so that's 10 weapons in each slot, what would you pick? You know, if you could only run one full loadout set for the rest of your life, the rest of your destiny career, gaming career, what would you pick? This was kind of a tough one in certain situations, but this is ultimately what we ended up on here. So we'll start with the kinetic weapons, and I'll explain why I chose each one. Fatebringer. I want a good hand cannon. It's as simple as that. I just want a good, solid kinetic hand cannon. You know? Burns are relevant, just something to clap cheeks with. Izanagi's Burden has just always been a, you know, it's not super meta like it used to be, but it is still a really high DPS weapon and is something that you can still snap off a ×4 shot on and swap to something else. So we're picking Izzy as an exotic high DPS burst weapon. Arbalist, I think, is just one of the best weapons in the entire game, and I think it's stupid if you don't use this. This thing is going to be good for anything with match game, for GMs. This thing is good for boss damage. This thing is good for killing majors and champions. It's just an amazing weapon. You know, bring it. Always have it. Heritage is probably, in the last year, like my favorite special weapon in the game, especially my favorite shotgun in the game. Reconstruction, Recombination is just a godly combo. This thing is incredible, you know. Farm Deep Stone Crypt for it. Wither Horde, another one just like Arbalist. It's just a god tier weapon. I mean, it has so many uses, from boss damage to ad clear, to proccing all sorts of different various perks on your gear and weapons and armor. It's just incredible. Bring it with you everywhere. Ignition Code, I wanted something with blinding grenades, and this was a tough decision because I have lots of blinding GLs with auto loading, and I would still consider swapping this out, but this is something where I can blind and slide. The blinding grenades and slide shot combo that this weapon can roll is super cool and super unique. So this would be like my blinding GL option. I need a scout somewhere along here, and this was another tough decision to make, but ultimately I did decide that Hung Jury would be the one that I would choose. Mainly the reason I chose the scout here and not like a faster firing 200 RPM or 260 in the energy slot is because there's just so many energy weapons that are really good. I would potentially consider dropping Sunshot and throwing in another scout rifle here, but we're going to roll with the Hung Jury for now. I want a legendary sniper somewhere along here. We fell on Thoughtless just because it is the best kinetic legendary sniper that I have, and I couldn't fit one into the energy slot. I have overflow firing line. Touch of Malice. The reason why Touch of Malice makes this cut is because it's that weapon that you can use, especially if you're in a group or you're on a Lordly Titan or a Well Warlock. If you don't have any ammunition left, let's say on a day one raid or any activity, it's really good. You know, this season for example, with anti-barrier, just rips through shields and is basically, I always call Touch of Malice, it's basically like having infinite special ammo. It is a really good gun, and I have developed a strong liking to it. And then the final one is you need a 1-2 punch gun in here. The only reason this is here is 1-2 punch. You know, all these weapons might not be best in slot, but they all have a use. Because once again, this is, if I could only have 30 weapons for the rest of my Destiny career for every single activity in the game, that includes day one raids, Nightfalls, GMs, Crucible, all classes, Hunter, Titan, Warlock. You know, what would I choose? And you can't just leave out 1-2 punch because it's such a valuable weapon to have. All right, going on to the energy weapons. Forbearance is just a god tier weapon. I haven't really been using this as much as I should have, but every time I do use it with this roll, Chain Reaction and Ambitious Assassin, this thing is incredible. So you definitely want to try to farm that out in Val. Sunshot, I wanted a weapon that uses primary ammo that is also an exotic, because recently exotics got a huge buff to rank and file enemies if they're an exotic and they use primary ammo. So Sunshot fills that void, because up here everything else, well, I guess Touch of Malice as well, but that's a weird gun. We're not going to count that. I want an auto rifle somewhere in here. So we're going with Gnawing Hunger. Overflow Rampage is my favorite role on Gnawing Hunger, and I just wanted an auto rifle at some point. That is the only reason that this is here, basically. Divinity. This gun needs a nerf. Aikilos. The reason we're using this is because it can make Warmind cells, and I want to have a gun somewhere on here where Warmind cells can be a thing. Also, SMGs just favor like my playstyle a lot and a lot of people. So I do have 3 SMGs, one with each burn, so that no matter what sort of build I'm running, Font of Might subclass, I'm gonna have the SMG to synergize and complement that build. I wanted a fusion rifle somewhere in this build. I was thinking about putting the stasis one up here, but I couldn't fit it in. So we're going with my favorite fusion rifle that I have, the Cartesian Coordinate with Feeding Frenzy and Vorpal. This thing is nasty. I used it when fusion rifles were the artifact mods. So you might say, why do you have this random Agma pulse rifle? Easy. This thing covers anything with match game. I don't have to worry about burn. It has adaptive munitions on it. Adaptive munitions I've been preaching for a while now, ever since it came out. This perk is absolutely outstanding and severely underrated. It also comes with Turnabout. So adaptive munitions is to break any shield regardless of element. And keep in mind, you might say, well, Glad, you have Arbalist. Yes, but Arbalist is special ammo. What if you run out of special ammo? I want a primary ammo weapon that can break any shield, and that is this gun. And Turnabout will also give me an overshield every time I break the shield. Funnel Web is Funnel Web. This gun is just the best SMG in the game, and there are many void builds that I love to run, particularly on Hunter. So Funnel Web's making the cut. Callus Mini Tool. So this completes the trio of burns on SMGs, but this gun is also fucking outstanding. Incandescent is ridiculous. My new favorite perk in the game. And yeah, I would just never leave the house without this. And then the reason that Salvagers is here is because I wanted something with demo. So if I'm going to run, you know, let's say that I'm running Vault to Glass or another activity where I can spam grenades, demo is just really nice. And, you know, Salvager Salvo is a really good gun. Heavies, this one was actually the easiest to do out of all of the slots, to be honest. These were really hard and I left many guns out. But G-Horn just, I mean, how can you not bring it? G-Horn's incredible. It buffs your whole team. It's Gallarhorn. Cataclysmic is like with 4th times the charm, and Bait and Switch is just the highest DPS out there right now. So, I mean, this is going to be your boss weapon. I wanted to bring a rocket, and I wanted to bring a DPS rocket, and this thing tracks, and it has auto-loading, and it has explosive light. So the Palmyra, this is the gun to craft. I wanted to bring not only a legendary sword, but also a sword with Eager Edge on it. You never know when you're going to need it. Some people never take Eager Edge off, but I'm not a huge Eager Edge user, but it's nice to have it. Plus, it gives me my legendary sword. Lament is a high damage weapon, close range weapon. I've used this on countless occasions for different challenges and boss melts. So Lament is a good weapon to have. The reason I brought Threading Needle, you might say, why that? When you have this, I wanted a DPS precision weapon with auto-loading, so that's where Threading Needle comes in to play here. Commemoration, I wanted a legendary LMG. This is my favorite one in the game. I was lucky enough to get Reconstruction and Rampage on it, but really you just need Reconstruction. This thing is ridiculous. Xenophage is just a very well-rounded weapon. It can do a lot of things. It can interact with things. It creates explosive damage. It's just very unique. It has like a lot of range. I think it's kind of dumb to just not have this on you when you think you're going to need it. Even though Anarchy's been through a lot and has had its ups and downs, it's still Anarchy. It's still a great gun. It's still a set it and forget it type of DPS weapon. And it is multi-use and has a skill gap to it. And yeah, it's just, you know, an outstanding weapon. This is actually my favorite weapon in all of Destiny 1 and Destiny 2, so I'm a little bit biased towards it. And then the last one, I actually wasn't sure what I was going to put in this final slot, but I was kind of looking through here and I'm like, I don't really have any grenade launchers that use power ammo. So we're just slotting this in here just for that reason. This is the best one that I have with impulse, explosive light, and spike grenades. So this would be, you know, like a major or a boss damage weapon. But yeah, I mean, this would pretty much cover every situation. If Bungie right now like locked my account and said, hey, sorry, there's a bug, like the weapons that you have equipped are the only weapons that you can ever use ever for anything going forward, like I'd be good. I would be able to put together loadouts for anything in the game, whether it's casual play, patrol, strikes, GMs, match game, day one raids, even low man challenges, anything. I would pretty much be able to cover anything that I need. There's a nice healthy combination of legendaries and exotics in each particular group: kinetic, energy, and power. But this is mine, and you know, I'd be interested to see how other people would put together their loadouts. Maybe we can even start a little trend, chat, you know?